The ovation of the crowd is the loudest. You can feel the rush, the excitement, a new kid on the block, and everyone is just in love with him. Legends are scared, and from the corner of your seat, you can't just help but imagine how good Roger Federer is.
An absolute joy to watch.
Federer made his international debut at the Wimbledon Championships in 2001, playing four-time reigning champion and all-time Grand Slam leader Pete Sampras. And to the surprise of everyone, he won, beating Sampras 7-6, 5-7, 6-4, 6-7, 7-5 in 3 hours and 41 minutes in the fourth round to advance to the quarterfinals. However, he lost in the quarterfinals to Tim Henman, but that was the beginning of greater things to come. His first Masters final appearance occurred in 2002 at the Miami Masters when he lost to former and future number one, Andre Agassi on hardcourt. Federer then proceeded to win his first Masters Series tournament in 2002, the Hamburg Masters on clay, defeating Marat Safin. The victory propelled Federer into the top 10 for the first time. Between 1998 and 2002, he reached 10 solo finals. For context, that's 10 finals in 4 years. He was a beast. But out of the 10, he won 4 and lost 6. He also reached 6 doubles finals. Those titles he lost were more like a learning process, and soon enough, he became unstoppable. He went on to win 20 Grand Slams, which was a record well before the Big Three broke it. During his prime, at the mention of Federer, every other player's bow. Federer was a stumbling barrier for all of his opponents, and some even referred to him as the worst curse. Why? He simply displayed traits that distinguished him in tennis, one of which was his exceptional footwork. Federer is a master at on-the-fly preparation. This is facilitated in part by his extraordinarily quick and light-footed split stride. The split step is important not only for balance, but also for allowing him to take off on either foot at any time and begin the preparation for the ground stroke. This jump keeps him light and keeps him from becoming anchored in one spot. That's a minor thing, but it's what gives him the edge when it comes to prepping for the following shot. Amazing, right? To have amazing footwork throughout the game and create excellent outcomes over time demands not just excellent footwork, but also smart game management, which Federer has in plenty. Federer's body control, heat, effort, and movement economy are all distinct. He claims to be exhausted after a match, but his opponents are always shocked to see that he shows zero forms of stress or fatigue during play. Well, that's what you get when you're playing against King Federer. With his effective match management, he has honed the use of his forehand to deliver a strong backhand spin of 5,300 RPM, far greater than any of his opponents. His grip is more open than others, and not as severe as Nadal or Djokovic's Western grip. This enables him to hit a shot he devised, the topspin half volley forehand from the baseline. It has evolved into an offensive shot rather than a defensive one, which is quite remarkable. Also, this affects his serve. Federer has won 88.8% of his career serve games. His second serve is also a statistical marvel, winning 57% of points from it, higher than anyone else in the last 25 years. His throw-up has won numerous accolades over the years for its unfailing consistency and the fact that he appears to be able to hit practically every service from the same ball placement. This is where the true magic happens. He makes his opponents hit the ball where he wants, but the beauty of it is that he has that tiny bit more time than normal people to prepare, as he has kept the returner guessing. Many players have copied Federer and incorporated this stroke into their game. However, the extreme Western grip does not allow for perfect execution or placement as Federer can, a genius in the art of tennis. Federer met a lot of tennis greats on the scene at the start of his prime. He went up against legends like Andy Roddick, David Nalbandian, Mark Philippoussis, and Andre Agassi. But this didn't hinder his winning spree. He bested them all. Federer won his first Grand Slam singles championship at Wimbledon in 2003, defeating Andy Roddick in the semi-finals and Mark Philippoussis in the final. Okay, Andy must have hated Federer all his life because he was a pain, but we'll get to that later. Federer won his first and only doubles Masters tournament with Max Mirnyi in Miami and made it to one singles Masters event on clay in Rome, which he lost. He reached 9 ATP Tour finals, winning 7 of them, including the 500 series tournaments in Dubai and Vienna. Also, Federer defeated Andre Agassi in the year-end championships to conclude the year as world number 2, behind Andy Roddick by barely 160 points. Talking about Andy Roddick, let's see how he fared against Federer. If you were a fan of Andy back in the day, you probably don't like Federer also. The moment Federer came onto the scene, Andy shrunk. I mean, he lost 7 Grand Slams to Federer. Can you believe that? Federer had a record of 21-3 wins against Andy. Okay, Roger, that wasn't nice. It is the 14th most productive men's rivalry in the Open era in terms of the number of matches played. Andy was a great player, but Federer made him look so ordinary, condemning him to just one Grand Slam. Andy has lost 4 Grand Slam finals versus Federer: Wimbledon in 2004, 2005, 2009, and the US Open in 2006. Their 2009 Wimbledon final encounter, which went to a 30-game 5th set, has been dubbed one of the greatest matchups in tennis history. Federer surpassed Roddick as world number 1 on February 2, 2004, beginning his record run of 237 straight weeks at the top. Roddick, however, retired in 2012, ending the rivalry. Federer won his maiden Grand Slam title in 2003 at the All England Club. The Swiss player had a great tournament, dropping only 1 set. In fact, 5th-seeded Andy Roddick was tipped to make a big impression at SW19. Federer's hopes were bolstered when defending champion and top seed Leighton Hewitt was knocked out in the first round by Ivo Karlovic. Federer had no such issue, defeating Lee Hung-taek of South Korea in straight sets. He followed it up with a straight set victory over Austria's Stefan Kubek. Federer dropped his first set of the event in the 3rd round against American Marty Fish, but eventually won the game 6-3, 6-1, 4-6, 6-1. His season appeared almost to be jeopardized after he sustained a back ailment, but he won 7-6, 6-4, 6-4 against Spain's Feliciano Lopez, just when it appeared like he may have to withdraw. Federer advanced to the semi-finals with a 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 victory over Zheng Shouken in the quarter-finals. His tennis finally reached the peak it had attained during the encounter against Sampras in the semi-final, and he won. His route to the title wasn't an easy one. Another huge server awaited in the final in the form of Australia's Mark Philippoussis, but Federer was prepared to outwit his opponent, who had advanced to the final after defeating Andre Agassi on the way. The Swiss player performed another outstanding effort in the final, winning 7-6, 6-2, 7-6 to claim his maiden Grand Slam championship. The event was critical for Federer since many people thought he would waste all of his talents. After winning his first major 8 years ago, the Swiss maestro has been a force to be reckoned with at every subsequent Grand Slam. Fast forward to his last career Grand Slam, Roger Federer won his 20th career Grand Slam championship after defeating Marin Cilic in the 2018 Australian Open final on a Sunday, becoming the first player in men's tennis history to win 20 Grand Slam titles. He began with energy that startled Cilic, breaking his opponent's serve in the first and third games and forcing him to change rackets after only 12 points. Federer surrendered only 2 games on his serve in this first set, which lasted only 24 minutes and was contested beneath a closed cover on Rod Laver Arena due to the heat outdoors. Cilic rebounded in the second set, getting his huge forehand going and leveled the match in a tiebreaker after wasting a set point on Federer's serve in the 10th game. Federer began the 5th set by fending off 2 break chances to hold, then broke Cilic for a 2-0 lead. He, however, raised his game when it mattered most, breaking Cilic in the 6th game and then closing out Love on match point, despite Cilic's fruitless challenge. The Federer-Nadal rivalry, one of tennis's biggest rivalries, is a contemporary tennis contest between Rafael Nadal of Spain and Roger Federer of Switzerland. In their 40 meetings, Nadal holds a 24-16 edge against Federer. It's important to note that most of the losses came later in his career. With 22 and 20 Grand Slam championships, Nadal is first and Federer ranks 3rd on the men's all-time list, while the pair holds several additional records. They have won 11 consecutive majors from the 2005 French Open to the 2007 US Open and 6 consecutive Grand Slam events from the 2008 French Open to the 2009 Wimbledon Championship and the 2017 Australian Open to the 2018 French Open. They are the only men to complete 6 consecutive calendar years as the top 2 ranked players on the ATP Tour, which they accomplished from 2005 through 2010 and 7 times overall, including in 2017. Since tournament seedings depend on rankings, with the top 2 seeds put on opposite sides of the draw, 25 of Nadal and Federer's 40 matches have been in tournament finals, including a record 9 Grand Slam finals and 12 ATP Tour Master 1000 finals. Another 11 have been semi-finals, with only 3 occurring before the last 8 round. The discussion between the two has been going on for over a decade, and they continue to outdo each other. Some may even argue they were formed in the same image, 2 greats gracing the court. This rivalry is one of tennis's greatest rivalries and one of the most prolific in the Open era, second only to the Djokovic-Nadal rivalry. Djokovic and Federer have met each other 50 times, with Djokovic winning 27-23, including 13-6 in finals. They have played 17 Grand Slam matches, with Djokovic leading 11-6. 5 of their major encounters have been in finals, with a record 11 in semi-finals. To date, Djokovic is the only player to have defeated Federer in all 4 majors, and Federer is the only player to have defeated Djokovic in all 4 majors. The rivalry began in 2006, with Federer winning the first 4 matches. But the rivalry has been generally equally balanced since Djokovic's first win in the 2007 Canadian Open. Their bouts have featured a wild exhibition of shot-making. The kind of playing surface has a significant impact on the results of most rivalries, but this rivalry is notable for being exceptionally equal across varied surfaces and circumstances. As a result, Djokovic and Federer have played numerous praised battles throughout the years, the most notable being Djokovic's victory in the 2019 Wimbledon final, the longest final in Wimbledon history. Other important matches they have played include the 2014 and 2015 Wimbledon finals, as well as the 2010 and 2011 US Opens, the 2011 French Open, and the 2018 Paris Masters semi-final. Before Nadal and Djokovic came into the scene, Federer dominated all there was to. He won 20 Grand Slams, a record at the time. He is the first men's single player to reach 10 consecutive Grand Slam event finals, and he has reached 31 Grand Slam finals in total. He won a gold medal in men's doubles and a silver medal in men's singles at the Olympics in 2008 and 2012. He has spent the most time at the top of the ATP rankings, 310 weeks. But that's not all. He also holds the record for the longest consecutive weeks as number 1. Federer also has the most titles at the year-end championships, 6, where only the top 8 players from the previous year compete. He also became the first tennis player to top Forbes' list of the world's highest-paid sportsmen in May 2020. This man was highly decorated, and while some people see him as the GOAT, I couldn't agree any less. Not to compare stats or records, but Djokovic's best year was 2015, and Federer has 3 seasons that match that. That makes 3 years in a row. It's insane. Federer also won 11 of the 16 Grand Slams during that same frame. And it was during this period that he achieved a world record 237 straight weeks at number 1. To put that in context, Jimmy Connors had a 160-week run between 1974 and 1977. That is about 1.5 years shorter than Federer's record. During the 2014-16 season, even Djokovic only played 122 weeks. So yeah, Prime has never been better than Federer's 2004 to 2008. There are reports that the winner will return for the Laver Cup and the Swiss Indoor Basel tournament, a tournament he has won 10 times. Can he still protect and maintain his legacy of being number 1?